Well, hello, my friends. I'm back. Just a few minutes later, honestly. Um, so, as a palate cleanse from all that Chevy, I know, two cars, right? I had to come back with a little bit more Ford here. And of course, I mentioned the Malaise era, um, which was, when government regulation depowered cars and detuned cars. And of course, safety regulations put on huge bumpers. And so, the mid 70s to the early 80s before things got back a little bit more performance, as Ford said in 1982 when they brought out the Mustang GT again, they said the boss is back. You know, power is back, high performance, that type of thing is back. And from Ford's marketing point of view, that was true. But I'll give you an example. I had one of these 1978 Ford Thunderbird with a 5-liter V8 and a 2-barrel carburetor and 5-mile-per-hour bumpers that I couldn't lift if it fell off the car. And it was a heavy car. It was over 4,000 pounds, but it only had 150 horsepower. Wow. Um, and even at the time when the Mustangs came back in '78 with V8s again. I mean, they had them in 70. Actually, they had them 75, 76, 77, 78. In 1979, when the Fox body Mustang came out, the V8s were only about 140 horsepower, also 140, 150. The big news when they came back with 175, and then ultimately mine 1991 was 225 horsepower, and today they are 460. So, yeah. So today I'm going to show off two. Now, I have seen this one all over YouTube. I've had this for a couple of weeks, but I haven't had the inspiration to open it. So, this is a Greenlight Hollywood, the movie Fargo, which I saw years ago, and I have like a love-hate relationship with it because it's an excellent cast and a lot of potential, but it was very slow, and it was very slow on purpose because that's North Dakota, Fargo, North Dakota. So this is a 1978 Ford F-150 Ranger XLT, and as I explained before, the Ranger name before it became its own model was just a trim level on the F-Series F-150 trucks. So I've already pre-cut it. This is a new release, but not so it's a 2022 copyright, but the actual casting is not exactly new. Um, but let's check this out. It should be pretty cool. Um, wow, look at that. These chrome bed rails, people had them. I was never a fan. They were great for tying off, but I'm not very tall, so to lean over into the bed to get stuff out was, if you had something like that, it was a pain. And if you had the wood stakes, forget it. You couldn't even do that. But they've done really well with the details. Now, no opening tailgate, but let's take a quick look. Now, I'm going to try and zoom in and see if we can see a copyright for the casting. 2014 to 2021. Greenlight. And the casting is GL 152. And I have to get back to it, but I was working on a spreadsheet where I was trying to put all of my diecast in there with their various casting numbers and so forth. Uh, so the headlights and grill and everything are all just painted details, but done very well. The windshield wipers, I like the fact that they didn't go with a black interior and that they have the sliding rear window. The steering wheel is blue or bluish gray, whatever that is. To me, it's blue, but I think it might be gray. This is very cool. The wheels look a little shallow for black steel rims. I mean, they look okay, but they don't look quite right. So let me pull these off here and put this on the turntable. And really quick, so Greenlight has done variations. Of course, this is an earlier casting. This is different casting from that. This is GL103, copyright 2015. It's a 1970 Ford F100. So, of course, the Ford F-Series pickup started as the F1, then eventually the F100, F150, and that's always the light medium duty pickups, and then the Super Duties. They became known as Super Duties. That's when you got to your F250, F350. They go up to F750, but that's actually that's a commercial truck. These days, they have very little in common, the Super Duty and the standard trucks. So Greenlight does excellent castings. Actually, this should be the same casting number. This is from the Mecum auctions. And again, the details on this are done so well. Look at that, the chrome trim on the side, the black paint. The wheels on this one are so much better than that one. Again, no opening tailgate. This has a nice, the black bed liner. Let's see, I didn't even check. Does the hood open? No, I do not think it does. No, it doesn't. But that is very cool. On the 1970, it does. But again, different casting. Let's just confirm that should be GL152, and it is 78 Ford. Now this is an F250. See what I mean? There's an F250. There's an F150. In reality, they're the same exact casting, and this is before the trucks diverged so much. If you're a truck guy, you know what I mean. That was in the late 90s, I think, when they really separated as far as details. So that is the first Ford, Malaise Era Ford, for us today. And I love this. They're both Malaise Era Fords, and they're both in green. So I think I had teased this one. I'm not sure. Let me back out a little here. This is the Johnny Lightning Pop Culture Trivial Pursuit Classic Edition. Trivial Pursuit, I loved Trivial Pursuit back in the day. I had, of course, the base game, and then I had different card sets. I loved it. It was a great game. I should dig it out, see if it's still here. I should bring it on vacation, or I don't know. I loved Trivial Pursuit. So this is the 1972 Ford Gran Torino Sport, and it looks a great deal like the movie one from the Clint Eastwood movie, Gran Torino, which I still have not seen. And my brother busts my chops about that. You gotta see it. This is your movie. So, of course, there is a trivia card. There is like a poker chip. And you see here the Ford crest with the crown and the three lions and the wreath here. That was on select Ford models over the years. Now, they don't do that type of thing anymore, but it's amazing the different Ford logos. Somebody should do a video on that. I can't. I don't have the information or the props. So let's pop this one open. This one should be very cool. Now, I think this is an older Johnny Lightning casting, so I don't expect it to be true 164, but we'll see. Let's see. I'm going to pause this just for a second. So thank God I don't collect packaging. You know? I mean, I do keep some of them in their package for context, and I may slip this back under, but I mean, the packaging is not valuable to me. Let's take a look at these things afterwards. Well, yeah. All right, so let's get this thing out of here. And of course, my brother will recall that my oldest cousin, who we love dearly, many years ago, I don't want to say how many years ago, she married the love of her life, and they are still together. So my cousin and her husband, when they started dating, he had this era Gran Torino, but he had one of the not the fastback, but the more formal roof, which of course is again one of my favorite cars. Um, and if I had prepared like a real YouTuber, I would have had one out to show you instead of like fumbling in the background while I'm talking to you. So I won't do that. Let's just take a quick look at this now. These laser stripes, these like fade color stripes, were a thing in the early mid 70s. I actually loved them, and they actually still had these laser stripes until the 90s on the Ford trucks. They were modified a little, but yeah, that was very cool. This one is a fastback with the black vinyl top, interior molded in green, a lighter shade of green, which is pretty cool. The keyhole, the script, tail lights. It's got a license plate. Let's zoom in there and see if we can get. Wow. Michigan. They do. Round two does such good details like that. These look like a aftermarket or a Krieger or Keystone 5-spoke. The front headlights and grill look great. That fish mouth grill. Turn indicators. I wonder, I don't think I could zoom in that level, but that little red part on the grill is that logo with the wreaths that we saw in the package. That. And I don't know, my brother would know, he might remember if his Ford Elite, which was based on the Gran Torino, had that. I think it might have. So this is a beauty. The hood should open. Let me see. I forget. Who did I see do it like this the first time when I started watching these? I think it was Champion DJK. I think that's how he used to try and get the hoods open. I'm not going to beat it up. Now, these should be around the same size because, of course, the Torino was the basis for the redone T-Bird. So the T-Bird should be a little longer because of the bumpers and because of the, but they share the basic chassis and a lot of components, brakes and suspension and so forth. So these are two great 70s green Fords. And I like that. I like that a lot. So thank you for watching. Let's take a quick look at the, I don't know why there's a poker chip. Maybe I should see that movie. But look at that. That's very cool. Pop Culture Gran Torino. Trivial Pursuit Johnny Lightning. And then if you want, you can pause and read the questions there. GEHALSNSL. Let's see. Geography, entertainment history. Oh, wow. AL. Despite which I don't remember S and SL. Now, let's see if on the other side they should have the answers. Geography, Highland Park, Michigan. His past, his masculinity, and arc of his friendship with a Vietnamese teenager. To lower emissions and increase fuel efficiency. What was that, H? Why did car manufacturers detune their once proud performance cars? Yeah. The Torino line outsold Chevy's Chevelle. That is actually a surprise to me, but yeah. SN. So again, I will stop. I will hold this once, and you can look at that up because that's what I'm going to do later. All right. Well, so again, thank you guys for watching and listening to my meandering. I'm going to try and do a couple of weekend videos every weekend. get back into that, after my little falling out there. It's been a tough year. We have all lost dear friends. I have lost other friends offline. So yeah. So you guys be well. Thanks for watching, and I will be back in a few days.